What's up guys, Elliot here from Venom Films and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Now in today's video I am going to be doing a visual effects breakdown of all of my most recent kind of VFX, or my first actual VFX, full VFX short film, Pac-Man vs. the Painter. So in today's video I'm just going to be running through how I did this video, kind of going through my workflow as well. Okay, so the first thing I actually did when I was editing my video was actually go into HitFilm and kind of make this sort of a rough edit of what I wanted it to actually look like in the end. So as you can see, I have all the VFX, all the shots here, including the VFX shots. And what I did with this was I just put them all into one timeline and then edited them so I knew what I was wanting to do with all the shots. And once I'd put them into this kind of timeline, I then made it into a composite shot. And then the VFX shots, I just exported that up here and exported those out, so I just had the clip that I needed for the VFX shot. So once I'd done this VFX shot, what I needed to do is import that into Blender. So what I did was I went into Blender. I had this model that I got off a YouTube video. I will leave a link to it in the description. Okay, so once I was in Blender, the first thing I did was added a background image in. So as you can see, I just went over here and added the image. Now as you'll see, this is actually a still, so it doesn't actually move, but it kind of just gave me kind of a base of where I wanted, so I knew what I kind of wanted the kind of shot to look like and where I needed to place the camera and that kind of thing. So you'll notice here actually that I have just this basic material on, so it's got a diffuse and a glossy shader, and they just mixed together, and it kind of creates this kind of cool glossy kind of look. I also put a environment texture that I just found off the internet that kind of matched it, so it's not actually 100% accurate, but it looks kind of similar. As you can see there, it looks kind of similar, but it's not exactly the same. So if I just go into this rendered one now, you'll notice that the reflections on the Pac-Man are actually sort of semi-realistic, and this also means I don't have to do any lighting as I've got this HDR, so this also helps with the shadows. So as you can see there, we have this kind of cool Pac-Man, and there are the shadows. So as you can see here, we just have this kind of basic animation that I did, and if you just go to the graph editor you can see it here. And I also put an animation on the mouth, so it looped just this kind of opening and closing kind of thing, so I didn't need to animate that as well. Okay, so as you can see now, this is basically our basic kind of final animation, which I did actually like, and I think this is one of the best VFX shots. As the shadow, you can sort of see the density of the shadow, and it's really kind of cool. Okay, so once I had my kind of primary animation kind of done, and it looked pretty cool, and I liked it, I just then needed to export it. So to export it, I just had the normal settings, 100% resolution, PNG. I also added an RGBA, so the background is plain, so I can composite it much easier. And then all I did was save that file. Okay, so to render my animations, I actually didn't render them in internal Blender basically. I actually rendered them on a render farm called the Sheepit render farm. I'll leave a link to it in the description. It's a really good render farm. I definitely recommend you use it, as it really speeds up your render times. So basically for that, all you do is you save the file, then you upload it to their kind of cloud, and then it's kind of an open source render farm, so multiple different computers will render it out, like people all over the world render it basically. So when you receive your Sheepit render farm file, it just comes as a bunch of PNGs. So what I then did was, so if I go to a VFX shot, what I did was I just then rendered it in HitFilm to turn it into an AVI, so it had this blank background on it, as you can see, and then I just then put that on top, and you can see it fits pretty well. Now personally, the most difficult thing I found with this, which I've never had to go at this before, but was doing the sound design, and as you can see, I've got quite a bit of it. It's not that much, but it is a lot for me, because I never do sound design ever on short films. So I decided I was going to have a go at this one, and if I just turn this sound off, you can see I've got all these different sounds, so paper, cars driving past, and this is really kind of cool, as it's just kind of I don't know, I really like sound design. I've really got into it and I think it's cool and it really adds an extra layer to your films. So there we go. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you check out the actual short film and make sure you check out the before and after that should be going up in the next day or two. So yeah, definitely go and check that out. Comment down below if you want to see any tutorials of this and what other videos you want to see, what other short film ideas I should do, and until next time, bye. Be alive and love.